Hi there, I'm Karen McCarthy and it's time to Karen-ize. Today's Friday when we do crafting, and today we're going to make this cute little folksy, primitive, I don't know what you want to call him, gnome. It's so fun and he's so cute. Before I get going, I just want to thank my subscribers. You're doing so much to help me grow my channel. And remember that when I get to 500 subscribers, I'm going to be sending a gift box to someone who's been making comments. So even if you just say hi from wherever you're from, or just plain hi, or make a comment on the project, or show me a picture of a project that you've done, anything like that will get you entered into that drawing. We've got a little less than 200 subscribers to go. So if you can share this to people you think might enjoy it, that would really help. So anyway, without further ado, let's get into the project. Okay, for this project, we're using a large styrofoam cone. I got that at Dollar Tree, and some muslin, and some Dollar Tree fabric, and some pipe cleaners. And then I found these shoes at a thrift store. I thought they were so cute. Kind of funky. They're a little bit oversized for this gnome, but I think that'll make it even cuter. So I'm taking some tissue paper or paper towel and just stuffing it into the toe to give that some oomph. And then this spool, the wooden spool, I'm putting in, just gluing it to the bottom of the shoe. And that's going to give me a good surface to glue the styrofoam cone onto later. So just gluing that in there, holding it really firm until that glue cools and hardens. And then just tying it back into a nice little bow. Then I'll do the same with the other shoe off camera. So now I'm going to take the cone. I am leaving the plastic on just so I don't have a mess. And I decided to use the plaid fabric for the body and the leaf fabric for the hat. So I am just starting by making a small hem at the bottom. Sorry, I'm a little bit out of camera range. I just do a section at a time so that hot glue doesn't cool, because then it doesn't stick to that fabric very well if it's starting to cool. Thought about doing a frayed edge, but I didn't want any of that styrofoam to show through, so I decided to do a little hem. Got a little spot that I missed. Oh, I'm showing you, take a napkin holder and a silicone mitt, and it's a perfect glue gun holder. All right, so now I'm going to start just hot gluing that to the bottom of the cone. I'm not worried about the top at this point. I just want a nice straight edge on the bottom. So just going a little bit at a time again and just gluing that right onto the cone. And now that I've gotten to the end, I'm going to start just stretching and pulling that fabric to make it nice and tight over the back, because the front isn't going to show. We're going to have the beard covering that. So I'm just going to stretch it and pull it and glue and do whatever I need to do to get it nice and taut on the back so it looks nice. And if you wondered what I was doing with that glue stick, if you put a little bit of hot glue on the glue stick before you put it in, it won't slide around or fly out of your glue gun. So on this last part, I'm going to glue the top just to get it right in the right spot. And then I'm just going to do some pleats and tucks and whatever I need to get it to lay flat all the way around. After, of course, I cut off the excess. I apologize that I go out of frame. I do try later on in another shot to raise my camera a little higher, and you can let me know if that makes it better or worse. It's easier to stay in frame, but it's not quite as easy to see what I'm doing, I don't think. Also, if you've watched my videos for a while, let me know, did you like it better when I had the camera kind of in front of me and you were seeing it from my viewpoint, only across the table? Okay, now I am taking that muslin and getting rid of some of the strings. It always has strings. And I'm going to start just cutting strips for my beard. And I end up doing 4 different sizes of strips. It doesn't matter if the muslin is wrinkled or anything. I think it gives it more character if it's kind of messed up looking. So I'm measuring now to see where I want the hat to come down, and then marking that so that I know that I've got my beard up under the hat when I glue it on. So just cutting and tearing. I'm tearing rather than cutting the whole way because I like that frayed look for the primitive folk art look. Making sure I have the right one. And now I'm just going to cut some slits, and then I will just tear those. And of course, when you tear them, then you get a stringy mess. So I will be going off camera to get all the strings off, but I just showing you there. Just pull off any loose strings. And now you see I have 4 different sizes. I just made them maybe 1/4 of an inch different in size just to give it a little more fluffiness. So it's got 4 different levels to the beard, or layers, I guess you would say. Using those parchment paper boxes to hold a round object in place while you're working on it. And I am just going to start gluing. I'm going to do 1 layer of the longest. It's actually like 1.5 layers because I had a few more than I really needed, but that's okay because it gives it more bulk. And then I go to the next longest, and I just keep alternating or adding on the different layers until I have the shortest one on top. And you can, at the end, angle it up on the sides, but I just chose to leave it all just like it was, and not try to make that rounded beard look. I may change it later, who knows. So I'm just checking it to see if it looks pretty nice, and just adding more, and just keep going until you get the look that you want. You can add as many or as few strips as you want. And you can also take that muslin and make it a little bit darker. You can put it in coffee water, tea water, put some cinnamon in the water so you get some stuff on it too. I just chose to do mine is unbleached muslin. So there's what it looks like when all the layers are done. Now I'm going to work on the hat. So I'm just measuring around, and then I go about 1/3 more so that the hat is kind of big, so it's not tight. And then I just glue right sides together and cut it in a triangle shape, and then glue right sides together. I frayed the bottom a little bit. You want to wait until it's totally cold before you try to turn that thing inside out, or that glue will not stick to the fabric. I just use a paintbrush to get that end out. And getting rid of some loose threads again. And I realized that I hadn't made it quite long enough, so I cut off the tip of the styrofoam cone, which isn't a problem at all. And now it's looking good. Getting rid of some more strings. So I'm just gluing the back. That is the only part I'm gluing at this point because we are going to be gluing things under it. I just cut a piece of fabric about the width that I wanted the arms, put a little hem on either side. We're just making real basic arms. I did see someone use a cinnamon stick for an arm too, and I thought that was really cool. And then I take a pipe cleaner, fold it in half, and twist it, and that way I can bend the arms a little bit. And just put a little bit of glue in the center there so it doesn't move on me. You don't want to do it all the way to the end because you want to put the bead for the hand at that end. I left my cuff frayed. I didn't put a hem, but you could hem it if you wanted. Cut off any extra, yeah, I'm looking for my scissors. Cut off any extra pipe cleaner. And I glue, this time I'm using a wooden bead. So a lot of times I use pom-poms. I glue it so that the holes are on either side, and then the cuff can come down and cover that up. And then I just stick that up under the hat, figure out how long I want my arm to be, just glue it in place. Grab the other one. It's going to go out of camera range, I think, because I've got to make sure that those arms are the same length. Then I just glue that. And that's all you have to do for the arms. Now I'm going to put a little bit of glue there, make sure it's right in the center of the beard, and I'm going to glue the bead for the nose on. Again, I put the holes in the bead to the sides because I can glue the hat down over it. I'm just slouching the hat as much as I can. Probably could have made my hat a little bit bigger so that I could slouch it more. And then I've got these beads. Not beads. I don't know what they are. Anyway, berries, that's what they are. and a leaf, and I'm just putting those on the hat as an embellishment. Got to find the berries that are the right size, not too big for that gnome. So I'm just cutting a piece off and just gluing it right there. You can use anything you want for embellishments. That's the fun part. I decided to put a little bit of beads on the top of the hat also. I'm just cutting off a little one that was sticking out weird. And then I'm just going to fold it over and glue it so that it's in place. Now I've got the shoes, and I realized that one of them had a wooden sole on the bottom. So at some point in here, I take that off. Maybe I already did it. I can't remember. Because it made one shoe higher than the... Oh, yeah, there I took it off. Made one shoe higher than the other. And so I didn't notice that until I was trying to get it glued on, and that's why there's a little gap in the recording there, because I had to take it off so it would glue on straight. Then I decided to just glue this little pumpkin onto his hand so it looks like he's holding the pumpkin. And there he is. So an added bonus, we're just going to make a little beaded garland. I got these beads off of Temu. I love them because the one that looks really dark is actually a plaid. It's black and orange plaid, and I love plaid. So I just decided what pattern I wanted and just started stringing the beads onto some jute twine. And this is where I'm not sure if you can see it very well. Okay, I got these little wooden trucks from Hobby Lobby a year or so ago and hadn't found a use for them. I decided that I was going to use that on this beaded garland. So I'm deciding which one I want. I decided to do the one that was more colorful, and it was facing the wrong way. So I am just tying a knot here, and I'm going to put the truck on the other end, and we'll put a tassel on this end. So just making my knot big enough so the beads don't fall off, and then moving all the beads down. I guess now is when I decided, because I want the truck facing out. I don't know, just me. So I actually tied around that first bead. I find that's easier than trying to get a knot that's right up there by the beads, and it's tight enough to keep the beads in place. So I just always tie right around that first bead. And I left enough jute string so that I could just glue the truck on there. I was going to glue 2 of them, but they just didn't match up. So, and now I'm making a tassel. You just wrap the jute twine around till you get as much as you want, and then just tie off the top. And then I cut the bottom parts. Oh, and then see, I cut the wrong thing. Oh my, I thought I cut that part out, but I guess I didn't. So I was trying to make it work. Tried tying it again. Maybe I did it. I can't remember. I was struggling today. You know, you ever have those days where you just can't seem to craft for the life of you? I was persevering, though. I got done, but it was like, I don't know what was going on. So then you fold it over and then tie another piece of jute twine, like about, 1/8 of an inch down, so that you have that nice shape at the top. And I wrapped it over the twine that was coming out of the garland and then tied it all together. And I guess that didn't work because now I'm doing another one. Sorry, I would have cut that out if I'd have realized I left it in. So I'm just doing it all again and coming up with a tassel that actually works. So tying off the top, going out of camera, of course, I'm good at that. Tying that bit around the top part. And then hopefully I'm not cutting the wrong strings. I'm just trimming it up. I cut the bottom loops and now I'm trimming it up. Fluffing it out a little bit. And now I'm just going to tie it on with that string that's coming out of the garland, tying it together. I ended up later making a jute string bow and putting it up at the top just to hide that little gap. And I decided that I wanted to fray the ends. So there they are, and thanks for joining me today.